What's up, you guys? It's 2bricks and I have a brand new MOC for you guys. Finally, it's been such a while since I had a new MOC for the channel. If you guys have been following my previous videos, my reviews and other kind of conversational style of videos where I'm just sort of thinking about and talking about Lego stuff, you will know that I have been extremely busy and also itching to get back to making MOCs for you guys. So I recently picked up the Ultimate Collector Series Luke's Landspeeder. Obviously, we were looking at Luke's Landspeeder today. And I also, in the same week, accidentally grabbed myself the 1999 Luke's Landspeeder, the original, the absolute legend 1999 set here, which I still love to this day. It's got this really simplistic, wonderful charm about it. And so I decided that I simply had to attempt a MOC of this vehicle. But this has been something that's always really intimidated me because the shaping is so difficult. All the angles and all the curves and things are just really difficult to get. And I think that I have done the absolute best that I can, and I'm really happy with it. So I'm really excited to get in and show you guys the results today. I'm going to take this off of its stand. So the way that this works is I have instructions for the Landspeeder, which are for sale right now. You can get those at my Rebrickable page. And I also have a free additional add-on, which is just for the little stand right here. And that's just something that, like, you know, some people will want and others won't. So I didn't want to lump all the parts in together. So you guys can get this at no additional charge if you want to display your Landspeeder in this manner. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be getting in and showing you guys all the details. And yeah, I'm really excited to do that because this set has a lot to offer. Alright, and just before I take this off the stand and show you guys all the individual features and such, I just wanted to kind of give you a look at the stand itself and how it functions and what it's doing. So fairly simple here. I just wanted to evoke, obviously, the sands of Tatooine and the speeder rushing off to either retrieve C-3PO or retrieve R2, I mean, and put C-3PO back together, or Luke rushing home to find his aunt and uncle tragically murdered. Take your pick. But yeah, I wanted to just obviously put it in its natural environment, and I'm kind of using the inspiration from those more recent, you know, aimed at adults sets here with the black border, but I didn't want to do the whole like silver grill tiles down the side. I don't really like that look. I like the plain black better. And then I just elevated the sand block here so that it just feels like, you know, you've taken a chunk of Tatooine and you've just placed it here on the stand. I obviously tried to create the minimum amount of support underneath here with just a single rod that's kind of running through the center of the craft. It's not built into that or anything. It can be removed. I'll show you that a little bit later on. And then, yeah, I have a Womp Rat hiding out back here behind the rocks, just kind of waiting for the Landspeeder to pass by. And I wanted to just make it so that this is, you know, dynamic, so you can pose it from, you can be coming off of the stand at this angle, or you can have it straight in parallel, however you want to do it. Because, yeah, I think that's obviously the amount of customizability is what you want to have, the maximum amount of that. So there you go. That's the stand. Fairly simple, and again, just something that I wanted to do as a free add-on if you do buy the Landspeeder instructions, because I think stands are cool. So yeah, let's take a look at the Landspeeder itself. All right, so here is the speeder alongside the recent UCS one, and I really love how the color schemes line up so well, and the look that these bars give you kind of really evokes that that detailing on the big one there. And yeah, I tried to be really faithful in terms of translating all of the color blocking and the various kind of sections of detail. So I'll get in and show you all of that up closer in a second. But yeah, I would say that in terms of level of detail for a minifigure scaled item, this is pushed about as far as I could push it. And I just wanted to also include the 1999 set for comparison. They're actually fairly close size-wise. This one is a little bit stubby at the front. I think it could have probably used an extra stud, but it definitely, you know, comparatively speaking, they line up really well. So yeah, there are your three Landspeeders. Let's get in and see the specific details on this guy, because there are a lot of them. Starting up at the front here, we have the little sensor antenna thingy that sticks out in that really distinctive little T-shaped element there. We have the little exposed engine kind of detailing here, where this panel has been either knocked off or is just, you know, removable. We have the nice use of these pieces along the side here for that grill detailing. This is probably the most irritating part of this design, but it's also the reason that this set exists. So I got a bunch of these in the recent Jurassic Park set, and I just thought that they look like they would make a perfect Landspeeder grill, which they kind of do. It really evokes the look, but it's just, I had to figure out a way to keep the roundness of the form, to have this wrap around, but to have it not, you know, not be too kind of stressed or strained, but also not just be loose and flop around. So I kind of found the perfect balance. But I have found that there is some variance in the lengths of these, so you may have better luck or worse luck than me finding ones that are exactly the right size to fit into this gap, which is very annoying. I think that that's something Lego could definitely do with clamping down on, but hopefully you have good luck and this just kind of lines up perfectly and you don't have anything that's too long or too short to fit in the gap. But these are the shortest ones that I found, so if anything, they would end up being just a little bit too long and you would have too much clearance. And if that is the case, then I'm sorry. I don't really know how to address that issue without Lego doing kind of locking down on their quality control for these particular elements. But yeah, so I have the grill detailing going into this nice area here with the cutout section here and the little kind of indication of that red semicircle that is present in the design. And then it goes back into this nice kind of cutout area here with the wing sort of flowing into the engine, and then this area where it's sort of like an air inlet type of a thing. And I tried to keep the color blocking all really consistent here, so you have the area where the paint, the red paint, you know, is left off for this striped section, going into the engine back here with the kind of exposed detailing, and I tried to really capture a lot of that in there. I have a minifig hand representing a cable, and you know, all this kind of the different kind of types of greebly pieces to capture that detail. I love figuring out those kind of things, so it's really fun for me. And then I'm using an off-colored one of these pieces only because I only had two. These came with my, I believe it was the Daily Bugle set, as they were used as plant pots, and I thought that they were really, really perfect for engine caps for these thrusters here. But I actually like the off coloring because it looks like this one kind of blew out. You know, that's the reason why maybe all the damage, if you notice, on this vehicle canonically is on this side of the ship. So I'm thinking like Luke hit a rock or something, and it dinged the front because there's a big dent in the front right here, smashed this panel off, and then also blew out this engine. And so that's the reason why, you know, it's all exposed there. But I don't mind the color difference, but if you want to just swap that out for a dark red one in your own set to appease your brain, if you're that kind of person, then go ahead and do so. But yeah, the way that this all kind of flows into the back here, and I have these relatively new shallow arch pieces that flow right into the back detailing here, and then we have the little kind of exposed greeblies that exist on the real thing situated back here, and then the way that this pylon has just a little flake of the paint left on it, I think is really cool, and kind of goes up into this the section here with the R2 body, which is used in the gray to capture this top engine. It's funny how all of these engines are actually uniquely designed just by virtue of this ship being really cool and kind of calling for it. But yeah, I have a single stud here for C-3PO to be able to sit his legs back here, and then R2 will sit on this side, so he doesn't need a stud because he just, you know, lays flat on the deck. And I'll show you how to place the figures a little bit later on. But then yeah, we have the other unique engine design here with a little bit of the faded version of the paint scheme here. And then we have a spot for Luke's long rifle, which I just included a clip for that. And I'm using a magic wand and a lightsaber piece to extend out this rifle to the insane extent that it was kind of extended in the movie. It was like a really, really long piece. And that just clips in there nice and neat. And then that just kind of brings us back around to the front here. So the, you know, capturing the color scheme and getting the way that everything kind of dives into each other and itself, it was such a process. It took me absolutely forever and so many different iterations to do, but I think that it turned out about as well as I could possibly hope for. So I'm really happy there. And yeah, this is probably version 60, and there'll probably never be a finished version. I'll probably continue to always tinker with this throughout the years when new pieces come out, because that's just the nature of Lego and of these awesome ships. We want to keep making them. So looking at the interior here, I actually angled the windshield down because it's always bothered me how flat this piece is, and especially seeing the really beautiful specially molded cockpit piece for the UCS Landspeeder. I just couldn't, I don't know, I just couldn't stick this on here flat and just leave it be. So I had to figure something out. So angling it back a little bit gives it that slight curvature that and it kind of elevates it slightly higher, and it kind of sells it enough for my eyes. So that was something that I thought was a decent compromise there. We have the indication for the little kind of console here with the monitor on it, and all the buttons would be in there. And then we have a steering column for Luke using one of those bucket handle pieces. We have two very nice plush seats here with cushions and seat backs, and of course area for Obi-Wan and Luke to sit. So that's really cool. This piece here just represents the central console where there's some detailing, and there's also a kind of a stick shift looking thing. I don't have a representation for that particular element in here though, because it gets too crowded in here with the minifigures to stick anything in particular in there. So I just have the single plate there with the stud sort of representing some of that detailing or the suggestion of it. So that about takes you around the entire vehicle from front to back. And then just the underside here, I'm using some rounded clear tiles here, partially for structural support and partially just because if you want to put this flat on the ground, I want to kind of minimize it catching on carpet fibers and things like that. But then yeah, I have also these again, these kind of necessary plating details in here, and this little cross is where you would insert the bar for the stand if you are choosing to go that way. But if you want to just have this be a standalone piece and you don't want to mess around with the stand or anything like that, you can just stick a clear brick or two underneath here. The regular 1x2 clear bricks will work just fine. This is a light enough vehicle that you can stick them, just somewhere vaguely around the center, and you'll be good to go. So, that's the cheap and easy way to elevate this off the ground if you want to. So there you go. There is all of the kind of major detailing and different areas of this ship, and it's again, I wish that there was a way to have these be set. I almost want to glue them in place. So once you get them to be the exact kind of right way that you want them, with just a little bit of gap in between each of them, you just kind of don't touch them, basically. And as soon as you do, I mean, you touch it and it's just going to default to this look, which, it isn't terrible, but my my particular brand of OCD wants this to be as parallel as possible from the front to the back. So if you have a little bit of gap in the back, it wants it to continue right the way through. And that, again, it can be done. It just takes a little bit of doing. So there you go. That's frustrating, but I'll always continue to think about new ways of doing these things. And if I do want to do, at some point, create a version 2 to address that particular issue, if it bothers you guys as well, I will continue to think about that. But I think it works well enough, and I think that the look really is unparalleled in terms of like the accuracy of this section here. So trust me, I tried a lot of different things, and this is the best that I could come up with. So there you go. So yeah, there is the Landspeeder. Let me pop some figures in this bad boy. All right, so we'll go in order of importance. C-3PO, of course, is the most important one, and I'm including the version of him that came in the Landspeeder set, since that is the objectively best C-3PO we've ever gotten, filled with arm and leg printing, and it's an absolutely wonderful figure. I was curious as to why he had a gray leg instead of a silver leg, and I was speculating that it could be because of the metallic flake that goes into the gold not being compatible with a second metallic color in the dual molding process, if that actually needs to be a regular flat color. If there are any Lego designers who are aware of the kind of chemistry of and the makeup of these pieces, if you want to let me know if I'm correct about that, that would be awesome. I'd love to know. But yeah, obviously this is the greatest C-3PO figure we've ever gotten. It's incredible. So it has pride of place here on the Landspeeder, and it's also the most important character in Star Wars. So there's that. So R2 just lays flat on the deck like he does here in the movie, and his one leg just fits down right in there in between the seat rests perfectly, and then his other leg just sits down right here, and he stays in there pretty securely. I mean, he'll fall off if you tip it, but the way that the legs kind of tuck in there really helps to hold him in place. So then we have old Ben. You can just sit him down in there, and Luke to pilot the thing. And there you go. Luke's hands come up to a very kind of pleasing place for the controllers there, where it feels like he's very kind of active in piloting the thing. And Ben looks like he's chilling, definitely vibing. Got some tunes playing with the top down, and he's having a great time. So there you go. So there's all the figures loaded up, and there's how it all looks. So I think this is a great representation of the way that this was done in the movie. Obviously, R2 in the movie, his legs stuck out of the back of this, and I'm not sure if they secured him with some bungee cables or what, but in my version, his legs have to face forward, but I think it's okay. I mean, R2 isn't particularly dignified in the way that he's placed, but it works. So there you go. There is your Landspeeder ready to reenact some Tatooine drama. So there you go, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed taking a look at the Landspeeder MOC today. Hopefully you get a kick out of seeing this UCS one translated down to this tiny scale. Yeah, I'm really pleased with the result, and I'm definitely going to be keeping this on my desk for a while. This is a really cool, iconic vehicle, and I actually pilfered quite a lot of parts from this model to make the small one, and I don't regret it. So yeah, I think I'm really getting a kick out of this model. So if you guys do want to support the channel and purchase the instructions, I really do appreciate it. I try to keep the pricing for everything as fair as I can, especially given the amount of labor that goes into designing and then making the instructions for these items. I do hope you guys appreciate and understand that. But yeah, like I said, I try not to gouge anybody. You know, inflation doesn't affect me in any way in terms of the process of sitting down and making these instructions. I guess other than the gas it takes to drive to the Lego store and purchase new sets. But I'm definitely trying to make sure that in these crazy times, I'm keeping everything really reasonably priced. So hopefully you guys do agree with that. And you know, the freestand is just, you know, it is what it is. It's a block. It's not particularly complex, but I think it's a fun little piece. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and for supporting the channel and for continuing to like, subscribe, and comment so that we can get YouTube's algorithm to like what we're doing here. And I'm going to be making a lot more of these in future. I'm definitely in a tight spot right now in terms of free time, but that is all going to change dramatically very soon. So I'm really excited to tell you guys more about that a little bit down the line. But for now, thanks for kind of sticking with me, and I've been in a little bit of a dry spell lately, and I appreciate you guys' patience with that. So we're definitely going to be creating some crazy stuff in the future, so make sure that you stick around, subscribe, hit that bell, all the things that YouTube wants you to do, and you won't miss out on anything in the future. So thank you guys again for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and may the Force be with you.